Hello, welcome to Business Studies Class 11, and we will be starting with the explanation part 1. We will be starting with chapter 1, Nature and Purpose of Business. Before I start with this chapter, let me tell you that this chapter is divided into two sections. Okay, section 1 deals with the history of trade and commerce in ancient India, and section 2 deals with the concept, nature and purpose of business. And now we will be starting with the section 1, that is history of trade and commerce. So listen to it very carefully. Like we all know that India has Himalayas in the north, bordered by water in the south. So in earlier days, India got connected to adjoining foreign countries through the network of roads which leading to a silk route. So that is how they started their business, or how they started their trade and commerce in the earlier days with the foreign countries. So maritime routes linked the east and west by sea and were used for trade of spices, known as spice route. That means from India mainly what kind of items were sold, the spices. So the progress of domestic and international trade during the ancient India developed due to flow of wealth through these routes. So with this, there was a lot of progress in the trade and commerce. So many trade centers and industrial belts also started. So archaeological evidence have shown that the trade and commerce was the base of the economy of ancient India. So that is how the economy increased in the ancient India by doing trade and commerce. So trade was mainly carried out by water and land, because only water, like they used to transport goods through water transportation, like ships, boats and so on. So during that time, the trade were mainly carried out by the water and land. The civilizations like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had established commercial connection with the Mesopotamia. So all these I'm sure you all must have studied in the history in the junior classes. And they used to trade, what they traded was gold, silver, copper, colored gemstones, etc. The period was marked by substantial commercial activities and urban development. And also there was some trade regulations, different types of coins and weighing practices. So later on, some common acceptable weight and measures were developed. So now first let us start with the indigenous banking system. Now let us see what does indigenous banking system has to say. So with the progress of economic life, following development took place. The first one is metal coin became common medium of exchange, because in earlier days people used to do barter system, and later on there was some changes, some development in the country, so they started exchanging goods with a metal coin. And second one says documents such as Hindus and chitti were used for buying and selling on credit. So chitti, you know what is chitti, no? Letters. So they were used for buying and selling on credit. So that is how they used to right now people, what they do is they note it down in the diary. So that is how they used to buy goods on credit. And third one says Hundi became very popular. Hundi involved a contract which warranty the payment of money. It indicates an unconditional promises, and it could be transferred through valid negotiations. And different types of Hindus as used by Indian merchant were, look at it, name of Hundi: Dhani Jog, Sa Jog, Firman Jog, Dekhan Har, Dani Jog, Farman Jog, Jokmi. And their classifications are: number 1 says Darshini, 2 also Darshini, 3rd also Darshini, 4th Darshini, 5th Muddati, 6th Muddati, 7th Muddati. So Dhani Jog refers to like the main function was to payable, the money can be paid to any person, so there was no liability on who received the payment. So Sahajog function is like payable to a specific person only. The person from whom you took the credit, you have to be specific that you need to give the money to that particular person only. Liability over who received the payment. Third one is Firman Jog. So their function is Hundi made payable to order. Dekhan Har means payable to the presented or bearer. And Dani Jog, which are payable over a fixed period to any person, no liability on person who receive it. And the sixth one said Hundi payable on order following a fixed term. And the seventh one says drawn against dispatched goods. If goods lost in transit, the holder bears the cost and drawee carries no liability. So these are the functions of such different types of hundis. So the next one says that, the fourth one says that development of indigenous banking system, this played a very specific role, a very important role. Like people, they began to deposit precious metals with lending institutions acting as a banker or a seth. Means like in right now, whenever we want to save the money, we go to the bank and deposit. But in earlier days, people used to deposit money to the seth. Like I'm sure you must have heard about it, like in the village area, Sethi Banera. They usually make that word like the broker, the money lender of their villages. So you must have seen in many of the Hindi movies saying Sethi, you must have heard. So that acted as a banker. So this banker and sheikhs like Sheikhs became an instrument for supplying money. So they became the banker who supplies money for producing more and more of goods, means more of raw materials or the products which you want to buy. So indigenous banking plays a specific role in lending money. They played a very important role in lending money and also helped them in financial domestic traders. Whenever they were in need of money, they could always come up with the new like ideas, like taking money in a credit, and later on by earning profit they used to return it back. So this was it. And number 5 says agriculture and domestications of animals also help to generate surplus and saving for investment. So in like what they used to like keep the agriculture and animals also helped to make more of profit in the earlier days, like which helped in savings their investments. So like with the help of the agriculture, and also due to the favorable climatic conditions, people of India, they were able to raise 2 or 3 crops in a year, so which were made to do a like trade and commerce. So that is why India is known as the agriculture is known as the Indian economy. So because of the agriculture, people are earning more of economy. So this is why in additions to agriculture, by restoring of like you must have heard about weaving and dyeing fabrics, means like coloring of the clothes, making clay pots, sculpting, cottage industries, so Mansouri manufacturing, transportations like cars, boats, etc. They were also able to generate surplus for investment. So they were able to earn more of profit. Surplus means profit for the investment. And number 6 says development of karkhanas. You must have heard about the Hindi word karkhanas or workshops. Here skilled artisans, the people who are good in arts, worked and converted the raw materials into the finished goods, which could be sold in the market. So family based apprenticeship system were practiced. So you must have heard about the family business, that business which they have been doing from the olden days. Great great grandfather ancestor has been running all this business, so that is how they continue the system, so that their art and skill could be transferred to next generation. So they wanted to make their artwork famous for the entire life. So that is how the business started. So that was the in so in so this is how the Indian history uh, on the business took place in the earlier days.